Morning everyone. It has been a while, so I'm just looking up because I'm going to go on a hike and then talk to you about what it's like living and working in Australia. When I was saying that it's going to be a hike, I'm actually lying because it's more of a walk than anything. Charlie and I done it over the weekend and we saw 3 koalas, and the first koalas that we've seen, and then there's just a ton of kangaroos as well. But yeah, the main idea for this is just a nice little setting for me to tell you about life the last couple of months and Australia. So give me a sec and we'll start it. So if I'm just going to be like fully blunt, fully honest, the first couple of months in Australia was definitely an experience. It's not as easy as everyone claims it to be. It can be a bit of a shit show, which is what we came to realise, and only till recently have we kind of appreciated, actually, you know, we're in a good spot. Australia is exactly as you think. It's beautiful, it's hot, it's full of nature, it's expensive, but I just don't think that there's enough out there explaining the realities of it as a backpacker. There's loads of destination videos or blogs or itineraries, but there's nothing really out there that's saying like, yeah, watch out for this, because this will, you know, stump you a little bit. I guess the first thing that I need to address is obviously my expectations were a little skewed, shall we say, when we were planning, or when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do whilst in Australia. And yes, I say I because Charlie just goes along with whatever I plan. I had plans that we were going to work for maybe 4 months and then travel for 3 months, and I thought that that would just be a perfect way of doing it. Since being here, we found out that obviously that is not how it works. Life is just not that simple. I also thought that we could buy a van that would be able to take us around the whole continent, that we would have no problems with it, that we would be able to find jobs easily. But after working for 4 months and then traveling for 2, I found out that that was not the case. And I say 2 months, it was actually about 6 weeks that we'd been traveling, and we went, oh, we do not have enough money for this. And I have to say, after planning for Australia for such a long time and having this idea of how it would be, and it not being like that was really, really shattering for me. And I would be lying if there was a few days of crying, but you know, you just got to roll with the punches. Now on reflection, it is very naive of me to think that everything would be perfect, because it wasn't like that when we were in Southeast Asia. Why would it be like that in Australia? I would probably say that a lot of things online haven't helped those expectations, because you just hear about the positive stuff, not necessarily the negative stuff. Now, before I really delve into it, I just want to say that I'm not trying to shit on Australia, because we really do enjoy living here and spending time here. But it's just, I just want people to not have the same expectations as I had, which were very far from the realities of it. So with that in mind, I've created 3 subheadings that are at the root of our pain. You have money, you've got work, and then you've got kind of the transport living situation. So van life is what we chose when coming here. With many people coming to Australia, it seems like it's the cheapest option, because rentals are very hard to come by at the moment, and they don't tend to like giving leases of short amount of time. So that was kind of off the cards for us. So if we live in a van that we can then travel around with, kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, right? But when you're looking online, you have people that either are very mechanically sound or very rich. and we are neither. So if you're looking at people that have those big Mercedes Sprinters, which would have been very nice, you've got a shower, you've got a toilet, you've got space to stand up or sit nicely, you know, you just have the luxuries, whereas we have none of those. Charlie can barely sit up, we don't have a toilet, we don't have a shower, and the biggest luxury that we have are probably books. You're looking at 25,000 plus for just the shell, and for our van we spent 10,000 buying it, and then we put maybe 3,000 to sort it out. So it's a lot cheaper, but for people that have deemed themselves as upgraded backpackers, it's a difference. I did look into potentially renting a motorhome just so that we have those luxuries, and for, let me get up my notes, I've looked at between May and August, which is the off season, so it's winter during that time, 78 days, you're looking at paying 21,000 plus. So it's super expensive. Yeah, that just doesn't make much sense. But obviously there's always a but. Even though we spent 13,000 for something that's a little bit less luxurious, we have had several problems with the van. To be specific, over the 6 or 7 months that we were traveling, we had to go to the mechanics 4 times. Four times. So it's just been a bit of a mess. Currently living in the van is fine because it's relatively cool, but we have had a heat wave recently and it has been absolutely scorching in the van, and so we've had to use a fan, but they don't really help too much. And then when the heat rises, the mozzies come. So we've been bitten to shreds. Yes, very much looking forward to actually getting out of it. So note to self, don't expect a luxurious lifestyle on a backpacker budget. In terms of a job, we were very lucky to have one already set up for us before arriving. My cousin and her partner live on a farm just off of Cairns, and so that was an easy job for us to implement ourselves into for a couple of months. The issue with that is that it is a seasonal job. We can't live off just maybe 3 or 4 months of work. Going around Australia for 8 months on just that pay just is not feasible whatsoever. So it's having to find a job in the meantime. And when you are looking on Instagram, again, this is a very naive me, but when you were looking on there, there's loads of like, this is the job that you can get and this is the job you can get. And yes, you can get jobs, and when you're looking online for things like Indeed or Seek, there are lots of jobs going, but there are also lots of people wanting jobs. Charlie and I spent about 2.5 weeks applying for jobs, and we probably applied for about 100 plus jobs each and got nothing but declines. But yeah, we were very lucky to find the job that we were. It was the place that we were living and they were willing to take us, which we're very grateful for. And from this type of job, we're able to get a transfer for a different town, village, city, which is very much in our favour. And at that time we got the job, we needed it so badly, we were even considering going back to England because we were that poor. And by the time we got our first pay, we had $4 between us. You heard that right, $4 between the two of us. So very grateful we got it when we did. In conclusion, I suggest getting friendly with potential companies or employers, handing out paper CVs, going for chain companies so you can have that transfer, and luck. So for the third and final subcategory is money. And like I said, Australia is expensive, but in relation to Europe and America, it isn't too different. And like Europe and America, you wouldn't be able to live or travel for too long without having a job or some sort of income. The price of things are all in relation to how much you're getting paid and kind of the living wage and whatnot. So when we were looking at rentals for the Gold Coast, we were looking at the north. So it's $650 a week, and usually that was about 2 bedrooms, which comes to about $2,600 a month. And on the wage that I'm getting, so roughly I'm getting about 2,000 per fortnight. So in relation to what we were paying for a flat in England in 2022, we're only paying like an extra 550-ish a month for that. So you can see in relation it's not that bad. Just a quick insert, I was saying how it's not too expensive here in Australia. I've just gone food shopping and I've just only got a small load. This is how much I've got, right? Got some canisters, toothpaste, deodorant, some cartons, little bit of meat. These are the big ones. $100. $100, like £50 for this. Really? Really? Anyway, back to me on the walk. I'm sure you're thinking, if you've had so much trouble in Australia, why are you still there? Well, first off, if we did go back to England, it wouldn't really change much. We'd still have the same issues as we are or were. Number two, I don't see that having these issues as a reason to kind of pack up and go. The third thing is then the weather. I would say about 80% of the time in Australia, it's sunny. And when it is rainy or cloudy, you know that it's going to go back to being sunny. In England, it's probably about 15%, maybe 10% of the time it's sunny. And when it rains, it feels like there's no end. And then finally, number four, they have a very good quality of life. And I do think that that comes down to the weather, but they value work-life balance and a healthy lifestyle, which are two things that I need in my life. So to answer the question, no, we are not planning on going anywhere anytime soon, apart from maybe Thailand for a little holiday. So the plan from here, and take it with a pinch of salt because our plans are continually changing, is to build up a load of money and to eventually sell the van. So we've been working in our current job for about 3 months now, and we plan on doing a 3-week trip around New South Wales in about a month's time, and then transferring work from where we are on the Gold Coast somewhere along the New South Wales border. We've asked to move to Yamba, but they may not want us, they may not need us, so we may have to go further down the coast. And by hopefully working the 4 months here and the 6 months over wherever we are, we can build up a lot more money, so we feel a lot more comfortable for our part one of our big lap around Australia. But also we have money to fall on if we come across some issues, which we are bound to, because it's Charlie and I, it's me and Charlie, so we're gonna come across them. And then we want to sell the van. If you saw our first video, so the week one, and nothing goes to plan, you'll find out that after like 2 days I was over it. And then after a couple of weeks, Charlie was like, no, we've made the wrong decision. So it's not for us. We're going to sell it, and we're going to try and hopefully get a 4x4, which should hopefully help us in more remote areas around Australia. We do plan on getting a rooftop tent, but it won't be something where we will be sleeping every night. It's more of an alternative if we're so remote we can't find somewhere to live, or it's so expensive that we just stay in the rooftop tent. So it's a, you know, it's an option rather than you're stuck. And I think we're going to try and not just go for Facebook Marketplace, but have a little look at dealerships. I'm stopping because there's so many kangaroos around here, and I don't know how to feel about it. Look how close this one is. They do occasionally look up. Look, that one's looking up at me. He's going, oh, do you want to fight? No, sir. Yeah, been here 10 months and still can't get over them. Charlie's really freaked out by them. Anyway, yeah, so go for dealerships. Might be a little bit more reliable and they have a good warranty. So that might be something that that's perfect for us. So if you like this video, please consider giving it a like and potentially having a little nose at other videos that we've done, or even subscribing, because we have lots coming up. We have plans on going to New South Wales in the coming months. We have plans on going to some national parks in Queensland, and then over the next 2 years we will be going all around Australia. If you are doing any of those things, or just simply by watching to the end, thank you, and we will see you in the next one.